That's the first wooden clock I've ever built. It's made up from scrap wood left over from other projects. And as you will notice, that's also my first video in English, so you will excuse my poor expression abilities. All the teeth in this machine were cut by hand using a scroll saw. Really, that's all I used, and it was a nightmare to cut all them. I did expend some months only trying to discover what was the right shape, what was the most efficient one. Teeth profile to make the mechanism work. But really, for a wooden clock, it's not really that critical the shape you will choose for the gear. As you can see, the teeth here are quite rough. But nonetheless, they work quite nicely. As you can see, that's not a conventional clock, that's an astronomical one, and in short I will explain you all its functionalities. There. The heart of each clock is clearly the escapement, and this particular model uses quite a nice and easy to build mechanism, which is called an anchor escapement, which is quite hard to show you in the video, but you will notice that essentially there are two pallets which, following the oscillation of the pendulum, release one after the other all the teeth with an interval of about 1 second for every tick. The length of the pendulum is established in order to guarantee that the wheel can cover an entire rotation in a minute. In order to guarantee a continuous ticking, the pallet has to be covered with a thin strip of aluminum foil. That's in order to reduce the friction. And really, that addendum make the difference. That's the weight which drives the mechanism, and it falls in 12 hours, so this clock has to be reloaded twice every day, which is not that bad for a wooden clock, because wood cannot withstand a bigger weight anyway. That's the big wheel, and it is supposed to make an entire rotation every hour, and that's the gear train will guarantee the smooth function of the escape wheel. That's the astronomical section, and every day this 7-tooth gear will engage with this pin and move forward the moon and the position of the sun along the zodiac. And that's of course the display itself, which is a 24 hours display. And the hour hand is moving counterclockwise, because this clock is facing north, so really that's supposed to be a windows to the north. So the sun rises there, and then it sets right there, over the mountain, behind the mountain. And yeah, that's maybe confusing, but really it's not that confusing. As you can see, the moon in this way, in this moment, is a growing moon, waxing, I don't remember the exact terminology. And that's the minute hand, which is directly coupled, they are directly connected with the big wheel inside there, and that's the train for guarantee that this will make a rotation every 24 hours, which is the solar day. And yeah. That's the month with the constellation of the zodiac. And by the way, this is also quite precise. And these gear are made so that the moon make a full rotation every 29.55 periodic days, which is extremely close to the correct value for the synodic month of the moon, which is 29.53 days. And also the zodiac is supposed to make an entire rotation every 265 days and 3/4, which is extremely close to the conventional values of 265 point and 1/4 days. So yeah, you should you should recalibrate the clock once every 10 years or maybe also more. So really, no calibration is needed for this clock. And I know it can be quite a bad taste to put the clock right in front of Jesus Christ, but yeah, I prefer to know the face of the moon than to see this poor guy suffering on a cross, yeah. So yeah, that's my first wooden clock, and I'm quite proud of it, because really it was a challenge, and I hope to make more in the future, because that's something I really enjoy. So I will keep you up with my progress. So bye, let's see to the next videos.